So in the final subtask of the log file parser project, we'll be working on the log statistics function. So let's look at the tasks for this particular subtask. So we're going to first update the log statistics function to achieve the following. So similar to the previous subtask, we'll be creating a list which contains each line from the log file as an element. So it'll basically be easier to iterate through. And if no logs are present in that log list which we initialize, then we're going to print out no logs found to analyze, or else we're going to display the total number of logs and the count of logs for each level. Like let's say there are 3 logs with info level, 4 logs with error level. So we're going to print out the number of logs for each level, and then we're going to print out the latest log entry. So here is our expected output over here. So let's look at the code. So we are importing the modules over here, and we have the list of messages and log levels from which we are going to choose while generating. So let's look at the function for this particular subtask. So in the log statistics function, first we'll be opening the log file in read-only mode as f. The R over here stands for read-only mode. And then we're going to convert that into a list. So logs is the list over here which we are taking, and each element in this log list will be a line from the log file. So f is the log file, and we're going to perform the read line functions, which, as I told, will create it into a list of lines from the log file. And if log file is empty, that is no logs have been generated yet, then we're going to print out a simple error message. And then we're going to count the total number of logs using len function, which is going to give out the length of this list, which will give out total logs. So level counts over here is a dictionary in which we're going to give level as 0 for level in log levels. So basically what this does is, for each level present in log level, that is we have 3 log levels, info, warning and error. So for each level in this particular list, so the key will be levels, and the value for these keys will be 0. That is, the levels will be info, warning and error, and for each of them the values will be 0. Now first we're going to iterate through the logs list which contains all the logs. Before I continue, the F over here stands for format. That is, whatever is present in the flower brackets over here, the actual value will be evaluated at runtime, and we will give out the actual value instead of the actual word. So let's say there was no F and no flower bracket, then the actual word level will be printed out. So if you consider this if statement for the first iteration, that is, for the first iteration level will be info because that is first in the list. So for info in log, that is for the first log line present in the logs list, that is, if info is present in the first log, then in the level counts dictionary, we're going to increase that particular level's value by 1. So we have initialized it at 0 over here. So let's say over here for the first iteration it's info. So if info is present in the first log, then in the level counts dictionary, for the key value info, we're going to increase its value by 1. So first it will be 0, so it will become 1. So that way we can count the number of logs for each level present in that particular log file. So over here we're basically counting the number of times the log for each level has occurred in a log file. And for most recent log, we'll be using this logs -1.strip. So what does -1 index mean over here? You've heard of 1, 2, 3, but what is -1? So -1 over here references to the last element of the logs list. So let's say I give -2, then I would be referencing to the last but one element of the logs list. So -1 references basically to the last element of the log list. So .strip over here is used to remove any kind of white space that might be present at the start or end of the log. Over here we're going to print out log statistics in a new line, and then we're going to print out the total logs over here which we got from running the len logs over here. So for level count in level count.items, basically level counts.items is whatever is present in the dictionary. So over here level is the key and count is the value. That is, level over here is info, warning or error, and count is the number of times it has come. So we're going to iterate through that in each item of the dictionary. So for the first item of the dictionary, we're going to print out the level name and we're going to print out the level count. And over here we're printing out the most recent log. And we have the user choice function which will handle the user choice and redirect them to the particular function which the user wants to go to. And in the main function, we're going to run an infinite loop and ask the user to choose among 6 different options. And if the user chooses 6, which is exit, we're going to break. So let's just run this code once. So let's generate a few log entries. Let's just view our logs once. So we have 3 logs right now. So let's give view log statistics now. So we can see we have gotten the total number of logs as 3, and for each of the levels we have 1 log, and the latest log we have gotten the particular time. Let's just submit this code once. So you can see we have passed both of the test cases. So we have completed our log file parser project. So here are some improvements you can work on if you are more interested in working on this project. So yeah, this particular project was part of our course Python Projects for Beginners, where we have 11 different Python projects which helps beginners get familiar with Python. And yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, maybe head over to CodeChef and try this course out or this particular project out, or try out any other course which might interest you. And if you're already on CodeChef diving into the solution, great job. Move on to the next project. Thank you.